How to build an above-ground swimming pool. Difficulty level 1 hammer. An above-ground pool is much more affordable than an in-ground swimming pool and is a task that may be completed by someone familiar with DIY projects. To ensure your complete satisfaction, choose an ideal location and design. You will need a hose pipe, an above-ground swimming pool kit, complete with filtration system, and a roll of PTFE tape. You will need a drill bit, hacksaw, meter block, a tape measure, a wooden block, a spirit level, cordless drill, a driver, a mallet, some clothes pegs, and a box cutter. You will also need a pair of gloves. You do not need to obtain planning permission if your swimming pool has an overall surface area of less than 20 square meters. The height of its walls is less than 1 meter and is installed within 3 meters of the property boundary lines. If your pool exceeds any of these 3 criteria, you must obtain planning permission from your local authority, as we did for our pool since the walls are taller than 1 meter. You do not have to build a security enclosure around an above-ground swimming pool, nor does it need a fence if the coping of the pool is no taller than the patio. However, you must always remember to remove any excess ladders or steps when nobody is supervising the pool. The ideal location. Choose a spot which receives a lot of sunshine during the day. Avoid placing it near any deciduous trees and not too far from the house. As a very simple test, you can mark the outlines of your planned swimming pool using a hose pipe. Take a look at how much sunshine the proposed area receives during the day. Solid foundations. There is a surprisingly large volume of water within a swimming pool, and it must therefore be located on a solid, flat foundation, capable of supporting the weight. For a small swimming pool, you might consider laying a concrete base. Or simply mix and spread a layer of 5 parts sand to 1 part cement, 1 centimeter thick, underneath the pool itself. However, for larger pools, you would be well advised to lay a solid concrete base. The filtration system. The opening for the surface skimmer should face the prevailing wind in order to trap surface particles more effectively. You will need an electrical supply for the pump in your swimming pool filtration system. Unless you locate the pump inside a locked cabinet next to the swimming pool, local authority regulations stipulate that there should be a minimum of 3 meters 50 centimeters between the pump and the pool. It's a good idea to draw a sketch of your planned installation showing the locations of the pool, the plant housing, and the route of the buried electrical supply cable. If you have doubts about the stability of your foundations, it's a good idea to lay an 18 to 20 centimeter thick concrete screed. Let it set for at least 28 days, depending upon the mix and whether you have added quick setting additive. Make sure this stage of the installation is very carefully carried out. The base of the structure. Consult the installation instructions and get all the pieces for the kit ready nearby. Remember, the skimmer must be installed facing the prevailing wind, so place the base slat for the skimmer in the right position. Start by assembling the interlocking base slat sections. You can use an offcut of wood when knocking the joints firmly together with your mallet. Once you have built the first row, check that the diagonals are all the same length and use a spirit level to check they are horizontal. Building the walls. Carry on building the walls in accordance with the instructions. Make sure you place slats for items of equipment such as the inlet nozzle and skimmer in the right place. For the skimmer, ensure that the throat of the skimmer sits snugly in its correct slot and is then held in place by the slat on top. Finish laying all the rows of wooden slats. The pool coping supports. Follow the instructions to fit the pool coping supports. The pool liner retention rail. Working inside the pool, fix a rail 1 centimeter from one of the corners. Cut the rail to fit using a meter block. Then fix a rail extension, remembering to leave 1 centimeter gap before the corner. Fit rails all the way around the inside of the pool structure. The skimmer and the inlet pipe. Stick the adhesive gasket around the rectangular throat of the skimmer. On the inside of the pool, screw the inlet nozzle to the edge of the prepared hole in the pool wall. Then fit the round joint to the nozzle. The underlay. The manufacturer supplies an underlay to protect the liner, which should be positioned carefully in the corners. For added comfort and to provide a perfect base for the liner, you could also install an antibacterial skin over the walls. If the outdoor temperature is still cool, use sunshine to help soften the liner. Leave the liner fully exposed to the sun for 2 or 3 hours to get warm prior to installing it. Installation. Place the liner in the center of the pool area and unfold it. Align the liner carefully with the angles of the octagon. Working with bare feet to protect the liner, lift the sides while standing on it. There is a lip at the top of the liner, which you can insert into the slot in the rail. Wedge the liner temporarily in place using wooden clothes pegs, split in half. Carefully flatten the liner against the base and the walls and smooth out the creases. Leaving the liner in the sun often helps remove creases and storage marks. During installation, ensure that the vertical seam of the liner is not on the same side of the pool frame as where the skimmer and the inlet nozzle are to be installed. Filling the pool. Gently begin filling the pool, flattening the creases, pushing down from the center towards the edges. Once you have about 2 centimeters of depth, you can push rather more energetically. Try pushing with your feet while holding the edge of the pool to get rid of creases. Keep filling the pool until you reach 10 centimeters under the level of the inlet nozzle. As you fill the pool with water, pressure holds the liner against the walls and the lip of the liner is kept firmly in the slot in the rail. The inlet nozzle. Stick the seal on the flange of the inlet nozzle. Mark the fixing points and screw the flange plate into place. Cut a hole in the liner with the box cutter in line with the nozzle opening. Screw the nozzle inlet cover and adaptable spray head into position, and point the spray head to the left. The skimmer. Stick the rectangular seal onto the interior face of the skimmer flange plate. Using a ball pen, mark 4 fixing holes and pierce the liner with the point of a large screw. Position the skimmer flange plate and screw the corners in place. Once the corners are screwed in place, add the remaining screws. Cut a hole for the throat of the skimmer with the box cutter. Follow the instructions to install the skimmer flap. Once again, follow the instructions when installing the filtration system, before filling the pool completely. The inlet pipes. Wrap a layer of PTFE tape 4 or 5 times around the vacuum joint under the skimmer. Then reconnect the pipe coming from the pump with a connecting collar. Then attach the pipe coming from the filter to the inlet nozzle. The filtration system. You normally install a pump and filtration system nearby. You should leave 3 meters 50 centimeters between the pump and the pool to comply with legislation regarding the location of electrical power supplies. Using the pool. Once all the elements have been connected up according to the instructions, stop filling the pool when the level is 2/3 the way up the skimmer. Open all the valves to fill the filtration system. Follow the instructions and carry out a rinse operation of the water. This will prevent the system pumping sand into the pool. Then, reconnect the water supply and start the filtration system. Install the top ledge boards. The top ledge boards create the coping of the pool and are installed on top of coping supports. Drill a series of small holes and attach the top ledge boards. There is one exception. Do not screw the top ledge on the side of the skimmer. Position the base plate at each corner junction, drill and screw them in place. on the side of the skimmer. To allow access to the skimmer, the top edge of the coping which covers it simply rests on a metal base plate without being screwed in place. The top is secured by 2 small bolts which allow the ledge to be opened to gain access to the skimmer. The pull ladder. Assemble the components of the stainless steel pull ladder as shown in the instructions. Place it inside the pool and attach it to any of the sides except where the skimmer is. Screw it in place, then slide the protective covers and caps in place. The external wooden ladder. Assemble the components of the wooden ladder and install it next to the stainless steel ladder. Mark the position of the hook on the coping and put the locking lever in place on the ladder and mark its position. Remove the ladder and screw the hook in place. Also, screw the locking lever in place. Reposition the ladder, checking that the locking system works properly. The lever and hook locking system on the external ladder make it easy to remove it. Get into the habit of removing the external pull ladder when no one is using the pool, or the pool is not being supervised. In just a few hours, you can have a new leisure center in the middle of your own garden. The pool is something that will give limitless enjoyment to all the family.